Hi, I'm Lisa. Welcome to my glass studio. I was thinking that very frequently I will tell you or explain to you why I'm using a certain firing temperature for a certain technique. And I might just say, hey, I'm using this firing temperature, whether it's a full fuse, a contour fuse, or a tack fuse for this project. But I'm wondering if maybe you know why I choose those different firing temperatures, why I choose those different processes, and what goes into my little thought process as to how I come up with that, the method I'm going to use for a particular project. So I thought that might be a fun topic to cover. So not only the, yes, you do this, this, and this, but why and when would you select those different firing temperatures, one over the other, to get certain desired results. So I thought I would go over that topic with you today. I thought you might find that valuable. I myself am a lifelong learner, and I'm working on some new things myself, to things I'm excited about learning. And I found, a lot of times in the research I'm doing, they'll say, you can use this for that, you can use this for that, but they don't always say when to use those different settings or those different approaches to getting results. So I thought, here we go, let me share those with you, because in this area I'm experienced. In that other area where I'm trying to learn, I'm not so experienced. So I'm realizing a little bit of frustration level that you might also be having in your own studio. So let's talk about full fuse first. Full fuse is probably the most common temperature and technique you're going to do, because it's basically taking your layered glass, melting it together until you have a project that's smooth, has a smooth finish. Now, when would you use a full fuse? You would use a full fuse if you want all of your, this is a full fuse right here. You would use a full fuse if you want all of your design elements to be perfectly smooth and melt into one another so there's no texture. This technique, this method of firing is at 1465 for 96 COE, a little lower for 90 COE. But this process, this full fuse temperature, is great for when you want to use a project to display things on the wall, display things on the table. Maybe you're going to put some potpourri in this. Maybe you're going to put some wrapped candy in it. You want it really smooth so it doesn't snag on things. Maybe you're going to make a fused glass sink. You want that very smooth. So full fuse would be your option there. That's why you would choose it. So you can choose full fuse when you want everything very smooth, a smooth finish. Also, the light, when it reflects off that piece of art, is just going to reflect off it like it's a single plane. It's not going to have any bumps. It's going to have that beautiful translucency, that beautiful reflective quality that makes it look very smooth and very professional, very uniform. So it's great for something that might be a functional item. It's great for something where you want a very smooth finish. It's great for something where you want all those design elements to just kind of become one single unit, one single plane, one single surface area. The temperature process below full fuse is contour fuse. It's a little bit lower temperature. By using a contour fuse, we get a little bit of texture in the pieces and sometimes a little bit of ridging or separation between the different design elements in your piece of art. So let me hold this up, bring it a little closer to you so you can get a little bit better picture of that. But this project is taken to a contour fuse. A contour fuse gives you real definition between the different pieces of glass. Sometimes gives you a little separation where you can see through. If I turn this over, you can see that separation where that frit is kind of glowing in between the pieces. So this type of firing, this process, again, is a little bit lower temperature than full fuse, and you get a little bit of texture. Now, all the design elements are relatively smooth, but there's a little bit of relief here, a little bit of texture, where the pieces come together, a little bit of, I said, like haloing around the pieces, which you may or may not like. So this project has a little bit different quality when the light hits it. Instead of being perfectly smooth and uniform, the light will reflect off of those different surfaces where it's a little higher, a little raised, a little differently than where it's lower. So this type of fire is great for a piece of art. Maybe a sculptural piece that you're going to display in a stand. Maybe a piece you're going to make a stand for. Maybe something you're going to mount on the wall, where when the light reflects off it, you want it to have more, a busier, more exciting, more vibrant, or kind of look to it, because the light is going to reflect off all of those different elements, all those different ridge qualities, all those different heights and those different reliefs differently. So great for artwork, great for maybe something you're going to serve, maybe put wrapped candy in. Not great for something like a sink where you want it really smooth. Not great for something that you want to be able to wipe very quickly and easily. So this is your opportunity to be the artist. Both of these firings are terrific. It's a matter of, you know, what your end result to be. On this project, I wanted that extra texture because I wanted to highlight the details and the shapes and things. And this was just decorative. So it didn't have to be one or the other. I selected this fire because I felt it added to the design. I felt like it added to the intricacy of the pattern and made it more interesting and more lively. So a lot of these choices are artistic choices, unless it's something that you need perfectly smooth because you need to wipe it down. Maybe it's a tile in a bathroom. Well, that you'd want probably very smooth. If it's something that's, you know, a tile that's going to be in a little trivet that's decorative, then it really doesn't matter. It could be either one of these. So again, artistic choice, but you might choose the contour fuse or something that's a little bit more textural looking, but not super textural, but different than full fuse. It gives you a different look, a different effect, and can be very, very attractive. Full fuse, contour fuse. Our next fusing temperature is tack fuse. Look at this spectacular piece of art here. Right, isn't that just beautiful? So a tack fuse will definitely give you a lot of texture. It's wonderful for something like this where you have a weave and the type of construction is to look kind of like it's a lattice work and woven together, and the tack fuse temperature really accentuates that. Let me move this over so we get a better view here of this one. The tack fuse really accentuates the purpose of this piece and the aesthetic that I'm going for, which is something that looks like it's kind of a fabric, something that's a moment in time type of thing. A lot of texture. Look how the light bounces off of this compared to the other two, which is very attractive also, but this is different. Now this is wonderful for a piece of decorative art. It's wonderful for something like this where maybe you just want to, you know, display it on a table. Maybe you want to mount this on the wall. Maybe you want to, you know, put, again, wrapped candies in here, or some potpourri, or a decorative little marble or something, whatever you want to do. But this is definitely not to serve on. It's definitely not to, you know, serve something that's wet or food, you know, because it would obviously run right through. But can be a very, very attractive technique. So I would select this method when I want to ensure I have a lot of texture. I also want the project nice and strong and sturdy, so this is a strong and sturdy project. It's also only a single layer, so not quite as durable as one of these other pieces, so you have to handle it a little more carefully. But it's extremely attractive, a wonderful technique if you want a lot of texture. If you want something to look very spur of the moment, very decorative, creative, textural, have a lot of reflective quality to it. Look how the light just, I mean, it like just shines off that in all directions. Not only is it picking up on the colors, picking up on the dichroic, excuse me, it's also picking up on the fact that the piece is not perfectly smooth. You know, that everything has a little bit of roundness and fullness to it, which is just really, really beautiful. So I would pick this technique if I wanted something to really reflect the light. I wanted something that really had a lot of textural quality, visual texture, and physical texture. Sometimes you don't want physical texture, sometimes you do. In this case, I did. So great technique. So I would select this artistically when I want something that's more decorative, but really want it to have a lot of impact and a lot of really visual beauty. And this certainly does that. Combination of the colors, the shape, the method of assembly, the way it's put together, all add to the overall whole package and make this just a wonderful piece of art. All three of these pieces are, in addition to being fired to a full fuse, a tack fuse, and a contour fuse, they're also slumped. Slumping is when you put the glass in a mold, you heat it to the point where it conforms to that mold. It's a lower temperature than these first three processes, but it gives the glass shape. It gives it some form, some dimension. And in the case of all three of these, I think that really added to the artwork and really made it more lovely. The lift that you get here increases the reflective light quality of the art. And I think that was really beautiful. But we don't always want to do that. So full fuse, tack fuse, contour fuse. I'm going to move these out of the way a minute because I want to show you. You can combine the different firing process in the same project. And isn't that just pretty cool? So let me bring in a few other projects. This piece right here. This project is a full fuse project. It's then slumped on a wavy mold. You can see the wave right there. After it's been fired, I added these little dichroic dots and I tack fused it. So let me turn this around so you can see the back. So the back side is perfectly smooth. The front was perfectly smooth after it was full fused, and that was beautiful. But then the addition of these dots and the second firing, the tack fuse firing, made all of these little pieces stick out off the surface and reflect the light just beautifully. So it has a physical texture, has a visual texture. It has all these little beads that reflect the light. So not only do you have this beautiful colors kind of as a backdrop, as a canvas for the little dots give you movement. They give you a visual, something to kind of connect the eye and move around the artwork. And then they also give that extra reflective quality that is just amazing. So this project is full fused first, then these are tack fused on, then it's slumped over an S mold to give it the shape. So in other words, you can combine these different techniques. You can combine the tack fuse with slumping. You can combine it with full fuse. You can combine it with any other. You can combine everything just one step at a time. Now let me show you another piece. This one right here. I'm going to move this one out a little bit. All right. This is Tree of Tranquility. This project, the background. Oops, let me get this out of stand for you. Is a full fuse, very smooth, a lot of color, and a lot of blending colors. We do that with the type of firing. So it's a full fuse first to get this base layer, this canvas for the tree. The pieces of tree are made out of dichroic and iridized glass. Those are placed on top and tack fused on top. Now this was not slumped. This project is flat. I'll show you again. See, it's flat. Okay, but it's in the stand that makes it display really beautifully as a piece of sculptural art. So by tack fusing these pieces on, we get a different quality. The full fuse was beautiful, and it made a wonderful backdrop and canvas for the tree. But by putting the tree on and tack fusing it, we have texture here. The light will reflect off that differently. It'll visually look different when you look at the project from the side, from the front, from the other side. So it has a kind of a three-dimensional liveliness to it that maybe it wouldn't have if these were full fused on top. So here again we're combining different techniques, the full fuse plus the tack fuse, because I felt it was what would represent the art in the most exciting and phenomenal way. So again, you can combine firing techniques. You just do it one step at a time. It may require, like this one, 3 firings, but that's okay. You end up with this spectacular piece of art. 2 firings are great. These are all 2 firings, but you end up with that beautiful contour and that shape, so it's really nice. I'd like to show you my newest project. This is my newest member course, Serene Snow Scape. Very mellow, calming, beautiful, quiet scene here. Very peaceful kind of setting, compared to all these others with all these terrific bright colors, which I love. But what's different about this is the way I put it together. I used 2 different techniques for the area that represents the sky and a different method for the area that represents the land here, or the snow covered ground. And then the trees are done a little differently as well. So this was a full fuse, then a slumping. You can see it has this beautiful contour to it. Very neutral colors, this really beautiful accent, beautiful piece, beautiful technique here. Wonderful way to learn another way to assemble your art, which again is one of the things I love about glass fusing. I've been doing it for 38 years. I'm still learning new techniques and new methods of using the same materials and putting them together in new and different ways. And that's what keeps me so excited. And so excited about bringing these videos to you. So please like, follow, subscribe, send your comments. We love that. Share, all the above. We love that when you do it for our YouTube channel. It helps us, encourages us to be out here making these videos for you and coming up with new ideas. Send your suggestions. We love that as well. So thank you so much for joining me. Consider becoming a premium video member. We would love to have you. We have new courses coming out all the time. This one just came out. This is the newest one. You get 32 courses right now. if you can believe that, working on number 33 right now behind me in the kiln. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful courses, step-by-step video instruction, full-size printable pattern ebook, helpful hints, tips, firing guides, everything you need to make those projects successfully. And every one of those projects teaches you a new technique and a new method of assembly. All advanced stuff taken down to the skill level where it's easy to follow, easy for you to follow along and complete those projects successfully. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate you, appreciate the time you spend here with us on the videos. And until next time, happy fusing.